Hey, what's up everybody? It's Chris F and I'm back with another leverless controller review. In today's video, we're going to be looking at not one, but two leverless controllers from a relatively newer company in the leverless controller game. And this company is called Tikitaka and they sell primarily on AliExpress. So the first controller that we have from them today is the D16. This is their more standard layout 16 button leverless controller and it has 16 buttons with all the additional buttons on the bottom and the top. And then the second controller we have is this one here, the S15. Now, as you can tell, this has a very unique layout. This has a split layout. So this is better for people who like more space in between their hands, or for people with bigger hands who will get cramped up in a more traditional layout. And it only has 15 buttons compared to the 16 in the D16 we just saw. One other big difference with this controller that sticks out as soon as you see it is that it has two 30mm full-size buttons on the bottom, the standard 24mm buttons on top. In the options setting for this controller, you can set either one or both of these to be the jump buttons. While the number of buttons and layout between these controllers are different, they are both the exact same size and weight. Both these controllers are 30 centimeters across and 20 centimeters top to bottom. Each of these controllers both weigh 1 kilogram each, which is about 2.2 pounds. And they're about 20 millimeters thick on the side, so it's a very light, low-profile controller. Both of these controllers run on the GP2040 software. That means out of the box, they will work natively with PC, Switch, Android, and PS3. However, you are going to need a PlayStation 5 converter. Now, in terms of converters, you can either go with a Brook or a Mayflash, but a Mayflash is about half the price of a Brook at around $30 American. So I recommend getting the Mayflash PS5 adapter. That'll be really cheap. These controllers use Kyle low-profile red switches, which is pretty much the standard key switch you see in most of these low-profile leverless controllers. Let's do a button sound check. Now, in terms of the button sound, it's not a loud controller, it just kind of has a bit of a unique button sound when you push it. There are some small differences between these two controllers which aren't very apparent at first look. So as you can see here on the D16, there is an LED panel to see all your button settings and your input checker. And it's not turned on right now, but this does have RGB lighting. However, on the S15, we lose two of those features. There is no LED screen to check your settings, and there is also no RGB lighting on this model. Now, this model is less expensive than the D16, so it makes sense that it's lacking some of those features, but I think at least having the LED screen would have been a nice addition, so I would have loved to have seen that here, and it definitely feels like missing it is kind of a negative on this one. One great thing about the layout of these controllers is that it mixes the size of the buttons. Now, a lot of the other budget controllers up until now usually sticks with one button size. They'll either do all 24mm buttons or all 30mm buttons. And I know there are some people who really don't like that all one size style. But with both of these controllers, they each use mixed sizes. So the main directional buttons and your attack buttons are all 24mm, but then the jump button on the bottom, either the one here or two on the S15, they're both 30mm. So it has that more traditional hitbox style layout. So if you're the kind of person who likes smaller attack buttons with a large jump button, you're going to love the layout of this controller. It feels right at home, and I think you're going to be very happy with this. There is one more unique thing about this controller, and that is the button type. So these button caps aren't your traditional hard, shiny, smooth plastic. These are nylon button caps, and they're really kind of like rough to the touch. It kind of feels like very, very low-grade, weak sandpaper. Now, if you're the kind of person that gets really sweaty hands or fingers, I think you're gonna love these buttons, but they do take a little bit of getting used to, especially if you're used to the standard hard, smooth, plastic style keycaps that most controllers use. When trying out both of these controllers, I noticed that there was a slight difference between the keycaps, and I wasn't quite sure why. I contacted Tikitaka directly, and they told me that the quality of the keycaps on the S16 model are actually higher quality than those on the T15. And that makes sense since the T15 is slightly less expensive than the S16. But because it's a leverless controller, you can always just replace these keycaps with whatever you like. So it's not like you're locked into these ones, even if you purchase it. Now, out of the box, both models of these controllers do not come with any plastic feet or any kind of like anti-slip pad attached to it. There are anti-slip pads that you can attach included in the box, but you'll have to put those on yourself and they're not stuck on there from default out of the box. I highly recommend putting the feet on whether you play on your desk or on your lap, because here with this one with the feet, I give it a little push, it doesn't move. But as you can see here, no feet, this thing slides quite a lot, whether it's on your desk or your lap. So just for safety's sake, trust me, just to be safe, definitely put the anti-slip feet on to really help with the anti-slip factor. Now, while the button layout, feel, and responsiveness all have kind of a premium feel to them, it kind of starts to become obvious that this is a budget level controller once you start to look at the build quality of the actual controller itself. Now, it's not bad by any means. The edges are cut roughly, especially this corner right here. I'm not sure if you can see that, but I mean, that's kind of the name of the game when you're in these sub $100 leverless controller categories. You are going to have to sacrifice build quality for cost effectiveness. So, is this controller for you, and should you buy it? Well, if you're in the market for a leverless controller for the first time, but don't want to commit to something too expensive, but also want to get a good quality controller, then I say yes. I think you'll enjoy this controller, and I think it's for you. Or if you're the kind of person who likes a split layout and likes to use 24mm buttons with only 30mm buttons on the jump, then I think this controller is for you as well. I think it strikes a great balance between price and performance, and I mean, what else can I say? The controller works and it feels great to use. If you enjoyed this review video and found it useful, please hit the like and subscribe buttons because it does support me as a content creator. And thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, take care.